In this video, we show you how to set up and use Datalogger in UNIQO HMI. We will use the project which we set up in the last video. Even if you didn't watch the last video, you can follow easily. Go to the project view, in our case my screens, select New and add a new panel. Now we have to rename our panel. We will change the properties in order to work in a proper way. So first we will enlarge our working area, and now we have to change the vertical and horizontal alignments so that it's fit to its parent. Now we add a control element in order to change the value of a variable and another one to display its value. Open the user interface, go to base controls, add a linear gauge, and we add a label to display the value of the variable. Please take care about the settings of the linear gauge. There are two different ways how to set the value change behavior. We have the value change on edit finished, and we have the value change while editing, which we will use in our videos. For demo purposes, we create an internal variable which will be logged. Open the context menu of Model, select New and Variable. You can change the data type if needed on the right side. For this video, we will keep the default data type. It's fine for us. So now drag and drop the variable to the gauge and select the label and drag and drop the variable to the text. Now let's change the appearance of the label. So first thing which we do is enlarge the size, and we will change also the linear gauge. I would like to have a vertical orientation so that we have some space for our data logger later. The data logger needs a database to work in order to store the data. So first thing we have to do is go to the data source, open the context menu, select New and select Embedded Database. The other option, ODBC database, will be explained in another video. If you have the embedded database, you can change the configuration. In our case, we have the standard settings. In memory is set to false. That means that UNIQO save all data to your hard drive. If in memory is set to true, all data will be kept in the random access memory. Those data will be lost if you switch off the device. Now it's time for the data logger itself. Go to Loggers, open the context menu, select New Data Logger. You can change the properties on the right side on the property window, and the first thing we have to do is to specify where the data logger can store all the recorded data. So drag and drop the embedded database to store. Normally the data logger is set to a periodic sample with 1 second. We can add now a variable, variables to log, select the plus, and now we can also simply drag and drop the variable 1 to variable to log. And that works in the same way for each additional variable too. The data logger is set, but probably you need a table to see all the recorded data. Go to your screen, select it, and add a data grid, which you will find in User Interface, Data Controls, and Data Grid. Drag and drop it to your screen. And now we drag and drop the data logger from the project view into the data grid. Let's make it a little bit bigger. Now we have to add another button to refresh the data grid, the data. Go to Base Controls, add another button to your screen, and we have to create a mouse click event for this button. So go to mouse click event, add new, and now we have to browse through all the elements. Like other objects too, data grid offers properties and methods. In our case, we need the refresh method, so expand the data grid and select the refresh method. Every time you click on the button, the data grid will be refreshed. Before we start the emulation, we have to add our Datalogger screen to the navigation panel. So select the Datalogger and drag and drop it to the navigation panel. Now let's start the simulation and see how it works. We go to Datalogger, we make the screen a little bit bigger, and now we can change the values and make a refresh on the button, and you will see the new recorded data. Thanks for watching.